Is it just me, or does everything work as a giant monster of buildings and little vehicles? Yep. Sharknado 7 Megalonado. Woo! Hey guys, welcome back to Super Important Reviews. My name's Steve, and today we'll be going over the Bandai Tamashii Nation SH Monsterarts weapon and effects sets. I'm going to be doing the pair of these in one video just because there isn't really a whole lot to go over between the two of them, and the sets kind of complement each other in a way. So I figured just to do this all in one run. And this is something I've been really looking forward to getting, because something like this is something I've always wanted ever since I was a kid. Because displaying a lot of my Godzilla figures on shelves, and just even a lot of my other giant monster stuff, really love it when I have little things to help accent what's going on. Like say I'm having a little battle, I have little buildings and stuff with it just to kind of make it seem like how it was in the movies. So when I seen that they released this set, I jumped on board, because especially with the SH Monsterarts line, this seems something perfect for that. Especially with this set, if you ended up getting the second run of the Godzilla that didn't come with the beam, now's your chance. And this set also really helps to accent the Destroyer in my collection, and even though I don't have the Burning Godzilla as of yet, at least I got the Super X to go with them. So I'm really excited to get these out of the packaging. So for the packaging, there's a really nice display setup that they have going on the front of these, showing you what you can do with some of the effects pieces on the inside of the box, with Godzilla doing the beam effect with the explosion piece, and the Super X flying around with all the other stuff, with the Maser tanks down at the bottom. Looks really cool, and even though it's just kind of black and white and plain, probably not going to be keeping this stuff inside the box anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. For the top, just tells you what it is. Bottoms, Lego Mumbo Jumbos. For the side, same thing, just tells you what it is. Repeat process. And then for the back, just pretty much tells you what you get inside of the packaging and just some of the little things that you could do with it. Especially with the Super X over here, which we'll go over in just a second. So that's pretty much it. Let's get them opened up out of the cardboard prisons. So now that everything's opened up out of the cardboard prison, here's just a nice representation of everything you get with the two sets. And first we're going to be going over the effects set, which first we're going to go over the breath effects, which this one is a little bit more of the plain one between the two, where it's made out of this translucent plastic with this kind of whitish wash with a little bit of brown on it. But overall, it looks really nice. As you can see here, it's a little bit more apparent with the white and the brown up here. But it looks pretty sweet. It kind of reminds me more of the Showa beam than the Heisei's, but it still works with pretty much everything. And then for the little more complex one, this one actually has a silver wash over the top of it, so it gives it a nice shine, as you can see right up here too. And it has a little bit more of the yellowing brown at the end of the beam effect, and for the part that goes into the mouth. So this one actually looks really sweet, and overall I'm pretty happy with this one. And then also comes with little explosions, which you only get one, but if you really like something like this, they're going to be releasing these as their own little effects sets, so something to look forward to. But I really like the details on it. It has this nice ember appearance with a little bit of black and yellows and reds in it. Overall it looks really nice, and it has down here a lot of white. But that's mainly to kind of replicate what the beam effect is doing. What you can do is you can just kind of jam it in there a bit. And there's no peg hole or anything, it just kind of stays in by friction. Once you get it in, it stays in there alright. But over time, I imagine this is going to be popping out. But what's really sweet is that, somewhere around this, there's a little peg hole right here that you can use instead of the beam to use with the stands. Which is really nice, because then you don't have to worry about this randomly falling off, or this part stressing out the monster's mouth that it's sitting in. And also, if you wanted it to say just kind of be sitting in the air with some of the other jets, which I'll be going over in a minute, kind of looks like one of them is exploding and they could be like veering around it. Or if you want to have it sitting on the monster by itself. So it gives you a lot of options of that, which I'll show it off with the stands in just a second. Which, getting into the stands, this one kind of reminds me more of like an energy wave coming towards the front of it. Looks really cool. It has this kind of clear silver with some browns in it and yellows. Looks really nice. And then for this one, kind of reminds me of something from Dragon Ball Z, where you see like the aftermath of the beam coming through, where it's just like Kamehameha. Looks really nice. Really like the rock work going on here. Has a lot of very nice details. Overall, pretty happy with this, and really helps to replicate the lifted up ground effect. And then also, actually, you can use the stands as well because they got the big peg holes on top to use as the bottoms. But one problem with these is they don't make very good stands by themselves because they don't have a lot of weight to help hold them down or a big base. So if you guys are going to be using these as a stand, which I'll show them with the vehicle effects in a little bit, you want to try to keep them upright as much as possible. Same with the beams. It's a little bit easier with the beam because the monster helps to kind of compensate for the weight. But overall with the details, it looks really nice. Really love the crumbling effect here. Kind of looks like a tail hit it, or maybe like the monster's arm kind of nicked it. Looks really nice, and overall has this gray paint job. A little bit of blacks here and there to give it a little bit of detail. But you get 2 of these in this set, and then you also get a larger building, which again has that nice crumbling effect up to the top here. Used as a base, and same kind of coloring overall. Just on these sides, it's just plain. There's no actual windows there. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but kind of gives a little bit of variety between the little ones and the big ones. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. You get a decent amount for your money, which this set ran, I believe, $31, and the weapon effects ran $32. So let's get into the weapon effects and see how those look. And for the weapon effects set, it comes with 2 of these buildings, which are the exact same that you get with the normal effects set. So we're not going to really be going over those. And then for the little tanks, you have your standard Mazer tank, which looks very, very nice. For how small this thing is, it has a lot of very nice details. With the silver paint here at the top for the Mazer cannon, with some translucent plastic there. It looks really sweet. And also these are posable, so you can rotate these around. Mine's a little bit stiff, but it gives you a little bit of play with them. It looks really cool. Even got little treads on the tires here, which is awesome. And at the bottom just has the copyrights for Toho. And then I don't know the official name of these, but I'm just going to call these the double Mazer cannon. Looks really nice as well. Overall has this nice army green paint job. And you can see it has the tank treads on there with the silver paint for the barrels. And overall looks really sweet. And also this is posable too, so these rotate all the way around. Looks really nice. And then for the little jets here, has this nice army green on it with some yellow accents for the thrusters and right here on the tail. And it has some silver tips on the cannons here on the side. Overall, it looks really, really good. Again, for how small these are, they just have a lot of little minute details that just really help these to stand out. And then for the Super X, looks phenomenal. Overall, love the amount of detail on here. The only thing that's a little bit of a bummer is one of my little cannons here kind of bent a bit. But it's nothing too major. And on the bottom here, just show you guys a little bit of the details on here as well. Overall, has this nice army green on it. Has a little bit of, it's kind of like this weird kind of reddish orange color for the cockpit here. But overall, it works really well for me. And then back here with the thrusters, looks really cool. A lot of very nice details in there. And as you can see right now, I have it set up with landing gear in, which it actually comes with. These aren't initially attached. It's just the way I wanted to kind of have it sitting on the shelf. But what you can do to remove these, if you want to have it in the flying pose with the display stand over there, what you can do is this part pops off. And then you can just kind of wiggle this part out. Pops right out of there. And then this is the piece that you initially get. Oh, crap, dropped it. Haha, found it. What you could do is that this just inserts in, which is a bit of a pain. Not quite as bit of a pain as actually getting that thing out. So I was just sitting here with no little thumbnails, just trying to pry that little thing out, and it was a pain in the butt. So once you get that out, you just insert that back in. And then for the landing gear here, same thing. You just kind of pull them out. And then use these ones. Insert them right back in. Which was just as much of a pain in the butt to get out as originally that little thing was. So I had to go back into the instructions and make sure that that was the one I was going to be popping out. So just, especially like you see on right now, it looks like it's molded in there and it's supposed to be something sitting in there. So that just kind of threw me off a little bit. And then what it also comes with is its own little cannon, which goes into the nose here. Which how you insert that is you pop this bottom part off, just make it a little easier. And then right here, you just kind of get your thumbnail in there. And you just pop it out. You take this part, insert it in. Maybe. There we go. Pop it right back in. And you're good to go. Which looks really cool. One thing I would have really liked to see is maybe a little bit of silver paint in there just to kind of help replicate how it was in the movie. But it looks really good nonetheless. And then up here, you can see there's a slot here, which is where the cadmium rounds go into. Or at least I think that's what they were called. Right down here, there's a little button. And what you do is you push that in and it lifts this part up to make that really easy to get out. Then you just push this launcher to the top and gives it a nice fierce look, like it's ready to go mess up some kaiju's day. So overall, really love the way the Super X turned out. And then getting into the display stand here, looks really, really good. Really love the blood red here with the more splattered paint job going on here with the black, and then the Godzilla and the Japanese right here. Looks really sweet. What's really cool about this display stand, even though this portion of it kind of looks fairly normal, is that it comes with this little 3-prong set, which what this does is when you put the jets on here, which I recommend being very, very cautious with this, because this is a very thin piece of plastic. And what you got to do is you can see right here, there's a little peg hole on the bottom of these. And you just sit it on top and you just push down a little bit to get it to sit on there. And it's not hard to get on, but I imagine if you stress it a little bit too much, these would probably break. So just be really, really careful. But once you get all the jets on here, what this helps to replicate is it gives you kind of a flight formation where these could be flying in on their sides, or you could bring it forward, rotate them a bit, and they're flying around a flying V pattern. And overall, it gives you a lot of variety in displaying these things. Except for mine's really hard to get onto this bottom portion of it. There we go. But overall, it looks really cool. And I'll adjust my camera real quick just to give you guys a better look. Alright, getting everything situated. This looks really good the way it's set up. Overall, love the whole concept of that, where you can have it flying around or however you deem fit to pose the jets. What would have been really nice is maybe having one other one to go with, especially since you can use these as a display stand as well to have something to prop up the Super X. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the amount of stuff I got here for 32 bucks. And then just pop this off real quick just to show you guys on here what I was talking about. Hold on a sec. What's really cool is you can actually use the buildings as display stands, as I stated earlier. And it works pretty well, especially with a lot of the lighter stuff, but when you start trying to bring it a little bit forward, you just gotta angle it appropriately so that the weight kind of distributes itself. Because if you bring it around to the side here, get it back in there, the weight of the top just kind of knock everything over. So it takes a little bit of finessing, but it can work for you. And to show you guys some stuff you can do with the effects sets, here's the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 64 with the normal beam effect and the ground stand. And here's the NECA Godzilla 94 with the more fancy beam effect, the explosion piece, and the wave base. Which is something to point out about these sets, is that you don't actually officially need to have SH Monsters figures in order to enjoy these things. Because you can see here with the NECA Godzilla, this looks pretty good. And with him not coming with any accessories of his own, or any of the ones coming out in the near future not having their own accessories as well, something like these sets seem a lot more appealing to me. And to show some more figures that look pretty good with the effects sets, here they are with the American Bandai's Burning Godzilla. And here they are with the Power Rangers 20 Mighty Morphin Dino Megazord and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Legacy Lord Zed. And here they are with the NECA's Pacific Rim Gypsy Danger and Leatherback. At the end of the day, this stuff was meant for your SH Monsterarts line. And I definitely think this was worth picking up, because overall with the amount of detail between everything, it really keeps up with the standard that the line has given us. It doesn't deter anything from the actual collection. If anything, it actually helps to really accent a lot of your stuff. Gives you a lot more playtime with your figures. And personally for me, I just had enough fun just setting up this shelf, let alone what I'm going to be doing with the rest of my figures. So that is something that I don't get too often with a lot of other items. Especially me wanting something like this since I was a kid to do with my figures. It's really great that I'm finally able to start realizing my dreams of overall kaiju destruction on my shelves. And also this stuff really works well with some other Godzilla figures as well. Like, it doesn't really have to be SH Monsterarts line. It works really good with like the NECA Godzillas or even like the American line, just to help accent that stuff a little bit. And even isn't that bad with the Power Rangers of Pacific Rim figures. Like, the buildings and the effects pieces are pretty sweet with those as well. So if you guys are a big fan of Godzilla or just kaiju movies in general and could have a general use for stuff like this, I really do recommend picking up this set. So what do you guys think? Have you guys picked up this collection yet? How do you guys display your figures? Or do you think there's too much stuff here to lose? Please let us know in the comments. A closer picture of these figures on Facebook. If you want to click the link description below. Please don't be afraid to share this video around. And if you like this and want to see more stuff like this, please give us a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.